Golok.
Golokanand, okay.
Yeah.
So, should I share Shri Krishna Lila Stava or you have it?
I would say if you can share, that would be great.
Okay, let me share. Alors, new share. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Can you see? Can you see or not?
Yes, we can see.
I can see, Prabhu.
Okay, go ahead.
Sarva Shastrabde Piyusha, Sarva Vedeka Satphala, Sarva Siddhanta Ratnadya, Sarva Loke Kadrik Prada, Sarvata Bhagavat. I'll read both and I'll read the whole
Okay.
translation. Sarva Bhagavata Prana, Srimad Bhagavata Prabhu, Kali Dvanto Ditaditya, Shri Krishna Parivartita. O Srimad Bhagavatam, O nectar churned from the ocean of all the Vedic scriptures, O most prominent, transcendental fruit of all the Vedas, O you who are enriched with the jewels of all spiritual philosophical conclusions, O you who grant spiritual visions to all the people of the world, O life breath of the Vaishnava devotees, O Lord, you are the sun which has arisen to dispel the darkness of the Kali Yuga. You are actually Lord Krishna who has returned among us.
Paramananda Pradaya Prema Vakshe Vakshrayate Sharvada Sarva Sevyaya Sri Krishna Namaste. I bow down to you who are supremely blissful to read. Your every syllable pours down a flood of prema. You can always be served by everyone. You are Sri Krishna himself. Madeka Bandhu, Matsangit, Madguru, Madmahadan, Naman, Nistaka, Madhagya, Mad Ananda Namastuti. My only friend, my constant companion, my spiritual master, my great wealth, my savior, and my good fortune, my source of ecstasy, I bow down to you. Is Prabhu there to read?
Hare
Yeah,
Krishna.
I'm reading. Sorry, I'm reading. I unmuted my. I'm sorry. Asadu sadhu tadayin atinicho chitaraka hanamuncha kadachinmam premna ritkantayusfura. O Srimad Bhagavatam, O giver of saintliness to the unsaintly, O uplifter of the very fallen, please do not ever leave me. Please become manifest upon my heart and my throat, accompanied by pure love of Krishna. I can see the other one, Prabhu, if you can. If you can read the other one, Mataji. I can't, I don't have, I just came to Mauritius.
We read the whole thing now. It's all read.
We did? No? Okay.
You read two, I read two, then you read one.
Okay. This. So we are only. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes,
Murshikar
Hare,
Prabhu, are you there?
yes, Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol. We can't hear. Madhavendra Puri Prabhu, what's happening?
Can you hear?
Now we
Yes,
can hear
yes,
you.
Prabhu.
Oh
We can
yeah,
hear you.
actually I had muted myself, sorry. So let's start
Oh,
again because I had already recited the Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Om
Om
Namo
Namo Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay. Om Agyantimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Shakshumilitam Yena Tashmaya Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Statitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Sha Shri Rupa Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragunatam Vitantam Samjivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kansana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshvari Shabanuste Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Swagatam Suswagatam. So, are you okay, Purnachandra Mataji? You're a little sick, huh?
Only my allergy is very bad from yesterday.
Oh, I see. Okay. And Moshika Prabhu, your back is aching.
I'm okay now. I'm okay.
Yeah, this
Prabhu,
is the state of
yeah.
affair in this
Today I
material
will
world.
have, yeah. Today I will have to leave at around 10 o'clock.
I understand.
I have to, yeah,
Yeah.
I have to move some things. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. I'm sorry. Okay, so now we are entering a new chapter, chapter 7. For your information, it's a bit less, it's easier. We went through some heavy stuff and some heavy chapters. So what did we discuss last time? Can you look at the book of Gauranga Darshan? It's very explicit. I can show you can you see my screen?
Yes, Prabhu.
I remember we discussed Mahavishnu, basically. Oh, I see. When I enlarge the screen, I lose it. It's amazing. There's always something wrong.
Well, we can see the questions there. We can't see anything else.
Yeah. So this is, I noticed that when I diminish the size, I lose it. So let's do it from, I'm going to reopen it, but in the meantime, you can tell me what you remembered. What did we discuss? The very last subsection of the chapter 6, remember?
So there was the description of the Leela Avtaras.
Well, to be more specific, we discussed about Mahavishnu.
We discussed about Brahma. Brahma describes the original creation of Mahavishnu.
Exactly. And we're answering Yat Samstam. If you look at
Yes.
252,
Yes.
which is the, I would say, the hinge of the door. And chapter 5 and 6, they rotate on that hinge. So 252, the 6 questions of Narad.
Narad.
And one of them, the 5th one, is Yat Samstam. What about the conservation or the dissolution of the universe? We discuss about that. So you can just briefly sum up.
Like you said that everything comes from Mahavishnu, and at the end of the dissolution, everything goes to him, inside him. So there is only him actually that is before or after the creation. There's only Mahavishnu.
Exactly. Can you see my screen now?
No.
No, I guess I have to reshare. Okay. It's quite. Okay, let's do it. Tac. Share. New share. Okay, tac. That's it. And now?
Yes, we can
Yes.
see that.
So
We can-
obviously, whatever pertains to this world do not apply to the Lord. Mahavishnu is Vishnu Tattva, is Amsh. Whatever thing we can dream of or think of is totally asat. It has no relevance, time, beginning, end. There's no rival to Mahavishnu. Everything rests in him. Everything is deploys from him. Deploys means extends out from him. Everything nirodha. Nirodha means retract into him. So whatever happened in the meantime, which is the duration of a nimesh, you will see in the third canto, the nimesh means that's the duration of the whole material creation spectrum, the whole span of material creation is one nimesh. One nimesh is 3/8 of a second on the level of Mahavishnu. And for our Brahma is 311 trillion, 40 billion years. So time is totally relative. And we discussed even great thinkers fall short of the mark to know him. Nayamatma pravachanena labyo nabedaya nabahuna shrutena tasyashatma vivinute tanum swam. We cannot even start to comprehend Lord Mahavishnu. Where does he start? Where does he end? Everything is irrelevant. The words are irrelevant. The mind is irrelevant. Pantastu koti shata vatsara sampragam yod. Yogic performances, yogic feats. So logic taku pratishta vibinam. No, nothing can work to understand him. Is outside our zone of control. It's beyond time, beyond space. So everything, this is our philosophy. Yeah? Everything is, tell me in essence about the philosophy. You should always remind you, try to always keep in mind this philosophy. Achintya abed, what does it mean?
Simultaneously one and different.
Yeah, your voice is very faint, Prabhu. So
Simultaneously one and different.
yeah, so in other words, everything is pervaded by his energies. Shakti, Shaktimatayo Abedda. But he himself is elsewhere. We will discuss in the Chatushloki. Pravistani, na Pravistani. He enters, he doesn't enter. It's always the same story, 9-4. Same story. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagadavekta murtina matstani sarvabhutani nachaham tejavashtitaha. He penetrates the world, he doesn't penetrate. So how to decipher? He penetrates through his energies. Parasya Shakti Vivideva Shuyate Svabhaviki Gyanabala Kriyacha. Simultaneously and undifferentially, sequentially, all the energies deploy through the creation, they extend out, and they provide him with Gyan Bala Kriya, but he himself is outside. Because the system works for him, he doesn't have to get involved. He's hands-off management. It has nothing to do with his Swarup. His Swarup is in Golok Vrindavan. He's playing with the gopis, the gopis. He's reveling in pastimes of love. So everything is happening by dint of his Purush avatar. Yeah. So now we're going to discuss, it's a bit, as I said, a bit less complicated, by far, I would say, and to schedule incarnations with specific functions. Vishwanath calls it Brahma Narad Samvad. Basically, Brahma Narad Samvad started off from chapter 5. So this is what we're going to discuss. And of course, it should remind you a particular chapter. This is my homework. In which chapter did we discuss about the Lord's incarnations? Especially the Lila avatar. Try to remember.
Is that in Canto 1?
Yes, very good. Which chapter?
Chapter 3.
Wow, excellent. And there was only 22. We shouldn't be thinking there's only 22 altogether, but
There was 25, I think.
I think it's 22 anyway. We can look it up.
Yeah, the discussion was starting from Karana Dakshaya Vishnu, Garbha Dakshaya Vishnu. And then the incarnation were the beginning from the Kumaras till Kalki. Yeah.
I
So that's
remember also this has to do with the 6th question of the sages. One of the questions of the sages was the 6th.
Yes, what are the Leela avatars of
Exactly. Yeah. So you can see,
describe
yes,
yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, no, the question was describe the Leela avatar of Krishna.
Exactly. So you can see it has been answered in chapter 3, Canto 1, but again,
It's going to be elaborated.
well, you're going to see it's not only the gist of the whole chapter 7. Let's go back. There's 25 here mentioned. Of course, it's totally irrelevant because there's a verse in the 3rd chapter of 1st Canto that says, as many rivulets are falling into the ocean. In the same way, you cannot count the avatars of the Lord, as many waves on the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're going to discuss, and I want perhaps to share my notes with you because I remember taking a lot of notes when I studied under Bodhisattva Prabhu. Can you see my my screen here or not?
Yes, schedule incarnations with the specific functions. Is
Yeah,
that
but I'm showing something else.
no?
So let
No,
me
no, we
show. Funny,
cannot
each
see
time I
that.
want to share a page, I have to undo. It's quite
You
weird.
have to do it 2 times.
You know, but I have to undo the sharing, then again activate the sharing. Very weird. I wish I knew.
Yeah, now we can see that.
Yeah, so I'm going to share my notes. See? I told you more notes you take, more you can teach later. See, I took that course, look, January 15, 2002. That's 22
Wow.
years ago. See, I was very precise. Buddha Jan Prabhu was teaching. See, I was telling you, it sounds like, so now this is the recap that I have from my notes in those days, you know. We know, and the purpose of Yagya is to please Yagyove Vishnu, to please Krishna. So it's just a recap of what we covered in the 6th chapter. We just discussed that the energies are acting out for him, and he himself is doing something else. So it's always the same. We have to bear. We have to, because we all ourselves, we are energies. So basically, what do we see in this world? We see energies clashing with one another. We are energies, and we tend to clash with another energy, which is the lower energy, the material energy. Even though we are Prakriti, we are Para, superior energy, but since we have Purusha Abhiman, tendency to enjoy separately, we tend to clash. It's like women. If you put many women together, they're going to clash. You follow? There's one saying in Hindi, you can put 4 pairs of mustache in the same room, but you cannot put 2 pairs of breasts. I heard this saying, you know, so we tend to clash. So the person with whom we shouldn't clash is the male, and the male is Krishna, Mahavishnu. So even though we clash at times, but we should keep in mind the full shelter of Ashraya Ashraya. Tatenu Kampam Susamik Shamano. And basically, that's the sum and substance of Krishna consciousness. Not be distracted, even by so-called other Krishna conscious goals. So Brahma has explained how he got the power to create. He was very honest. He didn't entertain his son's opinion. That is to say, my dear father, you're God. Immediately, Brahma nipped it in the bud. And he described for chapter 5, chapter 6, that he himself is taking Shakti. So now he's going to describe other types of descents. We mostly discussed about Hiranyagarbha, who is basically Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. Then we discussed about Mahavishnu, more like Purusha Avatar. So now we're going to discuss about different types of avatar, Lila avatars, and also Shaktiavesh avatar. See, Shaktiavesh means they descend into flesh. They may have even a body of flesh, but be careful, they are totally transcendental. And of course, never should we conclude that the Lord is one of us. He's always beyond. Like we discussed so many times, Jagrihe Purusham Rupam 131. He accepts to play the role of Guna avatars. He accepts to play the role of Purusha avatar. Just like the prisons example. The minister may come, even the king may come, but they are not conducted, they are not under the law of the prison. Okay, so let's start. Now it's about Visarga. We discussed Sarga From chapter 7, we discussed, we're going to enter this Sarga. Brahmovaj, Yatrodhyatakshiti, Talodaranya, Bibrat, Krodin Tanum Sakalaya Gyamayi Manantaha, Anta Mahanava Pagatam Madidetyam, Tam Damstraya Jimmiva Vrajadaru Dadara. Go ahead. Anyone can read?
Okay. Lord Brahma said, when the ultimately powerful Lord assumed the form of the boar as a pastime just to lift the planet Earth, which was drowned in the great ocean of the universe called the Garbhodaksha, the first demon, Hiranyakashipu, appeared, and the Lord pierced him with his tusk.
Okay, so tell us, Mataji, about this very first incarnation.
Okay. Oh, yes. So here, like they're talking about Varaha, the form of his sacrifice, and how he lifted the earth, which was drowned, and how he had pierced it with pierced it.
Yeah, so this is the very first demon, Hiranyaksh. Did you notice
Yes.
how it is translated, Hiranyaksh?
It is also mentioned, Prabhu, that Hiranyaksh exploited the gold of planet
Yeah,
Earth.
Hiranya means gold, I think. Huh?
Yeah, and this has
Hiranya,
effect on his
Hiranya.
weightless condition of the planet Earth.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Huh?
Yeah, Hiranyaksha is also another meaning of someone who sleeps on gold bed.
Yeah, Hiranyakashipu means,
Okay.
Hiranya means gold, Kashipu means cushions, cushion. They always lie down with women on cushion. Hiranyaksh, mostly, like Prabhu says, the exploiter of the gold rush. Basically, they are twin brothers. I don't know if you know that about twins. Huh? The boy who comes second is the oldest. You know why? The boy who comes second is the oldest.
You
What?
mean in general when someone begets a twin?
Yeah, I mean it's a finer point of detail, but when you have twin, the second boy or girl, it could be girl, to come last is the oldest. Why? A bit graphic, but I don't know.
No, I don't.
Because the first, how do you say, the first spewing of semen, that's the first boy or the first girl. So it goes further down, and then the second goes on top.
But in general, but normally when children are born, the first one that comes out is considered to be elder.
Yeah, but that's not Vedic. The Vedic say this,
Oh.
the first, the one who comes second is the old.
Oh,
So yeah, go back to the inner constitution of the globes. Right? It's interesting. Huh? They're weightless. Let's discuss about that. There's a lot to say. How can you say people will speculate? They will not agree with you. It's weightless. Weightless means it's got no weight. They're
but is it
floating.
not because of gravity that we feel weight? Otherwise, if there's no gravity,
Actually, they are
It's
pulled by the orbit. See, let's be precise. Not that the planets are weightless, the air is weightless. Be careful, I made a mistake.
yeah.
The air is weightless, as we know.
Mhm.
And due to the inner constitution of the planets, of the globes, they tend to float because they are pulled by their orbit. Do you know the speed of the Earth? What is the speed of the Earth on orbit? 16,000 kilometers something per second. Not per minute, or per second. So we are going, the Earth is moving at a tremendous speed. Why are we not scattered all over the universe? I mean, you drive a car 60,000 kilometers per second. You will be scattered outside the car in no time. Everything is running smoothly. Why? Because of the law of gravity. This is called Sankarshan. No?
Mm-hmm.
Now, see, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur explains that between the planet, not here, I know, in the Brahma Samhita, he explains there's some ropes, very subtle ropes that tie the planets from one to another. Can you imagine? And sometimes the winds, they are called intersideral winds, very powerful winds. Sometimes the winds break the ropes asunder. We don't learn that at school. This is the reality. And now, this is exactly what's happening now. If you keep on drilling the entrails of the earth, what may happen, this is what happened at the time of Hiranyaksh. They also drilled very deeply into the earth. Then at the end of the day, the earth fell off into the ocean below, at the bottom of the universe, Gabodakashai ocean. And that may be also looming on the horizon for us, because we drill oil and stuff like that deep inside.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that will affect
Prabhu,
the
yeah.
of the Earth to move out of its orbit. Is that what
Yeah,
you want?
that could be the worst scenario. It happened at the time of, can you imagine your state of affair? If the earth falls down, everyone dies.
But
Yeah.
has scientists realized that yet or
They
not?
have no brain, they're eating midday and night.
Yeah, even the tsunamis, other calamities is because of the drilling of the oil.
Could be, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised.
So my
And
question,
Prabhu, like all the planets, they rest on the hoods of Anantashis or Sankarshan?
Now, from what I recollect, not only the planets, the universes are resting.
Sorry, the universes.
The universes are resting on the hood of Sheshnag.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So now, tiny little point of detail, but because it says here at the bottom of 1, in the verse itself, it says he was pierced by a tusk, one of his tusks. And how do you reconcile? Because Jiva Goswami says actually he was killed by the hand of the Lord. So how to reconcile the two? Vishwanath explained that actually it was first killed by the hand of the Lord and then pierced by the tusk in 2 times. In other words, it was a 2-step motion, killed by the hand and then pierced. So
Prabhu, I
this
have a
is,
question.
go ahead, Alinishna.
So we understand that Krishna himself, he wanted to have a pastime with Jai Vijay, who came as Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu.
Yes.
So in the pastime of Krishna killing Hiranyaksha, what is the message? What is the lesson behind this pastime? I understand with Hiranyakashipu, the lesson behind is no one is immortal, even they can come up whatever intelligence they are, and here Krishna proves that he's the most intelligent, and if someone wants to become God, what will become their fate? But what is the lesson behind Hiranyaksha pastime, killing of Hiranyaksha?
Yeah. So before we start on this one,
Yeah.
Vishwanath explained that when they were about to come down as cursed by the four Kumars, Lord Narayan himself came and told him, you don't go. You send anshas of yourself.
Okay.
So to be precise, what we get done here, Hiranyakashipu, Ravan, Kumbhakarna, then Shishupal, Dantavakra, these are anshas of Jaya Vijaya, not even the real Jaya Vijaya. So what I wrote in those days, back to my notes, when Kam is not satisfied, it's going to become Lobh or Krodh. And also remember, where did that Varahadev came out from?
The
The
nostril of
nose
Lord
of
Brahma.
From?
The nostril of Lord Brahma.
Yeah, exactly. So I would say, to me, it's mind-boggling. We cannot fathom about the Lord's appearance. I mean, how can you predict it's going to come out from the nostrils of people? Say, oh, it's dirty. No, the Lord is never dirty. You cannot predict, you cannot foresee, you cannot fathom. So, in other words, it means what? It means he was already there. Because remember, the Lord is either prakot or aprokot. Manifested or non-manifested. He's always there. He was there in the nostrils of Brahma all along. Then he came out. So I would say the lesson is we should be attracted to Krishna. Otherwise, if we're not attracted to Krishna or his incarnations, we're going to become attracted to Maya. We cannot get it both ways. So we should be stupefied. We should be, what's the word? Emulated. We should be emulated because it sounds like mythology, you know, like what's that girlish, that novel for little girls, you know, Alice in the Wonderful Land. If rabbits are there, they speak, and it's wonderful. But I mean, Leela Avatar is by far much more far out. So we have to basically be methodically studying each and every one of them. And it's real, you know. In other words, we are kept in ignorance here. We have to be attracted. That's my understanding of this Leela. Someone can shed some light also. And I would say another point is those devotees, even though they are anxious, they are ready to bend themselves backwards to accommodate the Lord's need for virya ras, fighting propensity, you know. They don't care about their bad name. Let me become a demon if it's meant to please Krishna and Narayan in his fighting spirit. Let me become a demon. I don't care. I can do it. So they're quite dedicated, actually.
in order to please Krishna, even if Krishna wants them to become demons, they are ready in order to please Krishna.
Exactly. So in other words, Srila Bhakti Siddhant, he used to say, we should make sure Yukta Vairagya, we should utilize everything in Krishna Seva with neutrality and purity. Hari Sambandhi Vastunaha. That should be the desire. And those two, they're ready to not only to kill, I mean, you have to kill people. They play the role perfectly. But just for which reason? To entertain the Lord in his Lila.
So my question, Prabhu, is when, as you mentioned, these demons were killing people. I don't know much about Hiranyakashipu, but Hiranyaksha, but you see, Hiranyakashipu's activity were terrorizing the sadhus, those who were doing yagya, arresting many. So now we understand that these people, these saintly people, were terrorized by Hiranyakashipu by the desire of Krishna.
Yeah.
So you mean they were put into test? I think they were put into
Exactly.
because Krishna will never want anyone to be harmed uselessly. So we can understand that while they were doing their yagya and everything, there was a test for their faith. Test in their faith whether they will be faith dependent on Krishna. They will understand that. I mean, if you can elaborate more on that, because you see, these pastimes, I do feel they have deep inner meaning for us to learn and purify our consciousness.
Yeah. So I'm going to answer as far as possible, as far as a sparrow can fly. So can you see my screen?
Yeah.
In Veda base.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm showing Veda base 117.22. Can you see my screen or not?
I can see 172, not 22.
Okay, so again, I have to, each time it's quite crazy. I have to undo again, share. It's totally crazy. Anyway, doesn't matter. It takes 5 seconds. Up.
It's coming. Now we can
Okay.
see something.
So back to the Lila at the end of the first canto. Remember, Parikshit Maharaj is touring his country. He caught Kali red-handed, beating badly the bull and the cow. So much so they were urinating and totally fearfully crying out, only standing on one leg. 3 legs have been beaten up. We know it's beautiful, beautiful Lila. Earl is going to tell Kali, I'm gonna kill you. That's it. You are an imposter. But before he does so, he turns to the duo, the bull and the cow. And they are none other than Bhumi and Yamaraj. Be careful. And then he asks, even though he saw, can you imagine? He caught him red-handed. Still he's asking who did it. I mean, it's quite lofty. And then the bull answers, he's going to answer explaining different opinions of different types of schools, philosophical schools. He doesn't answer right away. Just like Krishna does the same in the beginning of the 18th chapter of the Gita also. And then, this is a beautiful section. It's mind-boggling. Then the bull is speaking. Even though he's shivering out of fright, he just got beaten badly by Kali. Anyone in this world, you are being beaten to death, black and blue, immediately you will finger point at the protagonist, isn't it? Look at
Mm-hmm.
the level of this bull. He answers, it's a very lofty, difficult question, my dear king. Who did it? Depending on which school you're talking about. He doesn't finger point. Then Sutta Goswami says, O best of the Brahmins, the Emperor Parikshit, thus hearing the personality of religion speak, was fully satisfied and without mistake or regret. He gave his reply. Now this is the king. Oh, you who are in the form of a bull, it's called Dharmagya. Be careful. This is not an ordinary bull from the pasturing grounds. Dharmagya. This is Yamaraj himself. You know the truth of religion, and you are speaking according to the principle that the destination intended for the perpetrator of irreligious acts is also intended for one who identifies the perpetrator. You are none other than the personality of religion. So Parikshit is saying here, my dear, after hearing from you, I can understand where you're coming from. You're a very advanced person. And you are speaking on the very high level, absolute platform of the absolute truth. Whoever finger points, identifies the culprit is as guilty as the culprit. This is a very high flawed philosophy. You can't go higher than that. So in the same way, whoever got killed by Hiranyaksha, depending on the level of consciousness, if they were very Krishna conscious, they understood it's part of the lila. If I get killed in the lila of the Lord, my days are over. Now, if they are endowed with a lower type of consciousness, they will reap their karma. As simple as that. But someone, very advanced personality like Dharmagya or others, they understand not a blade of grass can move without the sanction of the Lord. You follow? So everyone is standing at his own level of consciousness. But the ultimate level is here, 117.22. That's why a very advanced devotee will never retaliate, never even finger point. Can you imagine? Prabhupada said, you forgive, but you don't forget. So this is the highest level. You never retaliate, even you don't finger point. This is very, very, very high. This is the highest. Okay, so now let's see Vishwanath perhaps here. I think I'm done, but I just want to make sure. Yeah, we all said. Jato Ruche Ajanayat Suyamam Suyagya Akuti Sunu Amaranata Dakshinayam Lokatrayasya Mahati Makara Mahati Maharat Yadartim Swayam Bhuvena Manuna Haritya Harityanuktaha Ariri Chanuktaha. Go ahead.
Oh, can you read more, Shekhar Prabhu? Prabhu, I'm using my screen. Okay.
Yes, tell me something wrong.
No, I just want to minimize my Zoom so that I
Yeah,
can
it's okay.
read.
I can read if no one wants to. The
No,
present.
Okay. The Prajapati first
Go ahead.
got Suyajana in the womb of his wife Akuti, and then Suyajana. How do you say Suyaj? Suyagya. Then Suyagya begot demigods, headed by Suyama. In the womb of the wife Dakshina, Suyagana as a Indradeva diminished great mysteries in the planetary system, upper, lower, and intermediate. And because he is so diminished, the memories of the universe, he was later called Hari by the great father of mankind, namely Dasa Sarvabhauma Manu. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, so basically we are going over in a disarray manner, different avatars. We are talking about Prajapati. Who is the Prajapati here? See the Sanskrit? Jato Rucher. This is Ruchi.
The Ruchi
Yeah.
born
See, this is, look at Vishwanath.
from the
We're
wife
talking
of
about Ruchi, and his wife is Akuti. Remember, try to remember, the Bhagavatam is practically the whole Bhagavatam is the descendants of 5 persons. What are those 5 persons?
Daksha.
No. The 2 boys, 3 girls. I will give you some clues. Who are those 5 persons? The whole Bhagavatam is talking about the descendants of those 5 persons.
who
And I'm telling you, those 5 children are children of Swayambhuva Manu, Adi Manu. So let's quickly go over those 5. King Priyavrat, 5th canto. Prabhupada said this is the most illustrious, glorious dynasty of all. Very interesting. He doesn't say Krishna. He said this is the dynasty. He says the dynasty of Priyavrat. In which line appears the great Lord Rishabdev. So Priyavrat is the eldest son of Swayambhuva Manu. Just his reign, 1.1 billion years. His reign, just his reign. He reigned for 1,100 million years. Extremely powerful personality. He could not even bear that there was night every day. Can you imagine? He said, what's going on in this kingdom? His sovereignty was so high, he used to reign on the whole Bhumandal. Not only Jambudvip like Maharaj Parikshit or Yudhishthir. No. He ruled on the whole 7th planetary system called Bhumandal. He could not bear that there is night. So what did he do? Just imagine this part. He, with his own chariot, he illuminated on the other side of Sumeru mountain. As we know, why there is night? Why there is night, by the way? Who is pulling the sun? The sun is pulled by a chariot. Okay? When the sun is on one side of Sumeru mountain, automatically, because the light of the sun is blocked by the mountain, on the other side, exactly on the other side of the mountain, it's night. The mountain is huge. It's
So
called
Prabhu,
Sumeru.
is it
So now the king Priyavrat, he didn't like that. Can you imagine his power? He said, no way. With his own chariot, he illuminated the night with his own chariot and his own presence and his own figure. He rivaled with the sun. And the sun kept quiet. They know, he knows, I'm not going to fool around with Priyavrat. This is the power of Priyavrat. Then number 2, Priyavrat was extremely renowned. basically, he stepped out. He was under Narad, he became a brahmachari. Then the second son of Manu started reigning. His name is Uttanapad, the father of Dhruv. But in due course of time, the second son left the body. And even though Narad had told Priyavrat, you don't rule, you are extremely good as a brahmachari, Brahma has to come down and even overrule Narad by telling Priyavrat, you please rule, because your younger brother has pulled out, you please rule, and he stepped in. So Bhagavatam means we study the descendants of Priyavrat and of Uttanapad, starting with Dhruv, all the way down to Prithu, and these are lineage, you know. And then Swayambhuva Manu had 3 daughters. What are those 3 daughters? Devahuti, she's coming in verse 3. She's going to marry whom? Kardam Muni. They're going to have Kapil. Kapil is Vishnu. He's going to tell Sankhya Yod 2 times in third canto. Then another girl of Swayambhuva Manu is Akuti. And Akuti appears now in verse 2. Akuti married Ruchi. And together they had one person, Suyagya. Suyagya is, they are Prajapatis. Can you imagine? They beget demigods. They beget packs of demigods. Here, this particular pack of demigods is Suyamas, plural form.
So, Suyajna, what I learned, this time, Prabhu, is one of the incarnation of Krishna.
Yagya is an incarnation of Krishna.
But what about Suyajna?
Suyagya.
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 Yeah.
See, what happened is Ruchi and his wife Akuti, she's the daughter of Swayambhuva Manu, they begot Suyagya.
Yes.
Or Yagya. Yagya, you're right, is Vishnu. Is an incarnation of God. Then Yagya, in turn, with his own wife, Dakshina, he begot the demigods called Suyamas. It's a pack, not only 1 or 2, a big pack of demigods. It's a particular dynasty of demigods. They're called Suyamas. Okay? And that particular Yagya became also Indra. He became Indra. Because
So-
Indra is a post, huh? It's a post.
Yeah.
In that post, you will find particular jivas occupying that post. Just like the president of Canada is Trudeau, but after one day, he will be kicked out. There'll be another guy. So it's like that in the Dev. They step in for 1 month Vantar, and then they have to step out. Another guy will come in, another jiv. Okay, so basically, we are talking about this chapter dealing with Lila Avatars. Not only Lila Avatars, we're going to discuss about Shaktiavesh also. You will see, it's very interesting. And we'll discuss about their vibhutis. The vibhutis means their activities, you know? Like, for instance, demigods are vibhutis. They are not avatars, demigods. They are less empowered than avatar. They are vibhutis. Okay? So now let's move into 3. Another one coming up. Jagyecha Kardam Grihe Dvija Deva Hutyam Stribri Samam Navabi Atmagatim Swamatre Ucheyatma Shamalam Gunas Sangapankam Asmin Viduya Kapilasya Gatim Prapede.
The Lord then appeared as the Kapil incarnation, being the son of the Prajapati Brahmana Kardamba and his wife Devahuti, along with 9 other women sisters. he spoke to his mother about self-realization, by which in that very lifetime she became fully cleansed of the mud of the material modes and thereby achieved liberation, the path of Kapil.
Yeah, so you can tell us
Yes.
a little bit of Sankhya Yoga, third canto here.
Yeah, I mean, while I was reading the translation itself, Prabhu, see, Krishna, I mean, Krishna came as Kapil from the womb of Devahuti. But then when Krishna is speaking to his mother, so looks like before Krishna enlightened her mother, it looks like she was contaminated with the mud of the material modes. So then I feel that
Yeah, it's a bit like Arjun, you know. Remember? It's a bit like Arjun, it's all Yogamaya. Why Parikshit got angry at Shringi, why Vyasadeva
Okay.
got bewildered, it's dissatisfaction, even though it's Vishnu himself, you know. So all these are
Yeah,
actions of Yogamaya.
I
Devotee
see.
is not different from Yashoda. So these are
Okay.
all external details of Yogamaya. Because Devaruti Ruvach, there's a verse, 325:7. Devaruti Ruvach Nirvinna Nitaram Bhuman. Bhuman is the name of God. Very often you will see that name, Bhuman. It's a secondary name, it's not a primary name. She's saying, Nirvinna Nitaram Bhuman, I'm disgusted. She's telling her son, I'm disgusted. Asat Indriya Darshanat. I'm disgusted by the agitation of my senses. She's speaking like a regular conditioned woman. Then she goes, Yena Sambhavya Manena Prapanandam Tama Prabhu. She says, because of this sense disturbance, I've fallen into the abyss of ignorance. But we should not fall into the trap. It's like Mahaprabhu saying, oh, I'm attracted by even the wooden doll of a woman. He's God himself. So the higher you go, the more you identify with very lowly persons. You know. She's the mother of God. She's an extremely advanced personality. She's activated by Yogamaya. Matmanastu mampartam devim prakriti mashitaha. But for the sake of teaching us, you know, they like to do that, the pure devotees.
Yeah, I understand, Prabhu.
So now my question is, I hope you guys read ahead. What is, in essence, what's the connection between Sankhya Yoga and Bhakti Yoga?
See, we understand about Bhakti Yoga. Sankhya Yoga is more about analytical study.
Yeah, go ahead.
Analytical study of...
Remember in the Gita, 5.4.5.5. Very interesting, huh? We should not decry Sankhya Yoga. What does Krishna says in 5.4 and 5.5? You can paraphrase, you don't have to quote.
Prabhu, is it somewhere it's mentioned that Sankhya Yoga and devotional service are, I mean, they are non-different?
Exactly. Can you see my screen with a base? Yes or no? Otherwise, I will again stop.
Yes, we can see.
Yes.
See 5.4. Only the ignorant speak of devotional service, Karma Yoga, as being different from the analytical study of the natural world, Sankhya. Those who are actually learned say that he who applies himself well to one of these paths achieves the results of both. So you have to be very, very, very careful. Prabhupada explained in the verse that once you have found the root of this material creation, who is none other than Vishnu, then what do? You water the root. Shravanadi, Jal. The Jal means the water of Shravan. You hear Krishna Katha, you hear the holy name, so you water the roots. So it is simultaneously the same. You found something, you water the roots. Sankhya will help you to find the root, who is none other than Vishnu. Then you water. You water by Krishna Katha, by praying, by beseeching his grace and mercy. So it goes together. You cannot. And number 5.5, look at 5.5. One who knows that the position reached by means of analytical study can also be attained by devotional service, and who therefore sees analytical study and devotional service to be on the same level, see things as they are. So we should never dare to separate the two. It is very important. Now, what else? Atmagatim, Brahmagatim, Kapil Gatim. It's all mentioned in that verse. What does it refer to at the end of the purport? Brahmagatim, Atmagatim, Kapil Gatim.
It's the destination.
Yeah, that should be our goal. This is the goal. Where are we going? Atmagatim, Brahmagatim, Kapil Gatim. These are synonyms.
So why this word Kapil Gatim, Prabhu?
Kapilasya Gatim means the same. The goal is go back into your Svarup Siddhi, go back to Godhead.
Mm-hmm.
And then Prabhupada explained, even very interesting. He said, do we have to wait next birth to achieve complete liberation?
No, we don't need. We can.
Yeah, even while living in this world, we can become Jivan Mukta. A devotee who is well situated, at least of course Nishtha, at least on the level of Nishtha Bhakti onwards, is fixed up. He's not going to go back down and leave Krishna consciousness. At a certain point, you don't leave Krishna consciousness. At a certain point, you don't fall down. As long as you fall down, means you are anishtita, unsteady. One time, I don't want to mention name because he left the world now. There was one devotee, very advanced, extremely close to Prabhupada, and he was somewhat attracted by Narayan Maharaj, and he wanted to canvas, kind of hand over his ISKCON to Narayan Maharaj, actually, long back, perhaps late, perhaps, 2000 or 99, like that. And of course, because he did that, the whole ISKCON was split into two. Those who are in his favor of handing over ISKCON to Narayan Maharaj, and those who were adamantly against. And then, of course, he lost lots of disciples because his disciples were two-faced, themselves. They were also splitting in two camps. So he went to see Guru Govind Maharaj for advice, what to do. I took that step, and automatically it has created how do you say, party spirit in my in ISKCON because of me, amongst even my disciples. And what was the answer of Guru Govind Maharaj? He said, the Guru doesn't fall down. See, you cannot compare. See, someone on a very high realized platform, it doesn't dilute. He said, Guru doesn't fall down. So you can, from that, you can very easily draw that those who fall down, they were not really Guru in the first place. See? So I think we're okay, huh? with 3. Atre apatyam abhikankshata ahatushto dato maya hamiti yad bhagavan sadataha yat parapankaja paraga pavitra deha yugardim apu ubayim yadu heha yadyaha. Now we're moving to a different Lila avatar. Go ahead, anyone?
Okay, does Prabhu want to read?
No,
Okay.
Prabhu is not here. I will read, Mataji. Just give me a sec.
Okay, I've got it here. The great sage Atreya prayed for offspring. The Lord, being satisfied with him, promised to incarnate as Atreya's son, Datreya, Datta, the son of Atreya. And by the grace of the lotus feet of the Lord, many Yadus, Yanas, etc., became so purified that they obtained both material and spiritual blessing. So here they're talking about Atreya and his son Datreya, Datreya Muni, right? Or Datreya? Yeah. Okay, and
Atreya is a Manasiputra of Brahma, is a mental son of Brahma, one of the direct son of Brahma, very advanced. Yeah, so basically, if you study Brahmanda Puran, there's much more on Atreya Muni. So now you will find the story in the 4th canto. Very interesting personality. He stood on one leg for many thousands of years. And what was his claim? His claim was he wanted a son, you know. Sometimes it happens. You have seen, you may be extremely advanced, but it occurs to you, you want a son. Kadam Muni was like that. He married Devahuti and they had a son, of course, none other than Kapil. We discussed in the previous verse. He wanted a son, but Prabhupada explained elsewhere that he wanted a son like God. But he was not exactly aware of the difference between Brahma, Shiva, and Vishnu. So, because of that, he got a son whose name is mentioned here.
whose son are we talking about?
The son of Atreya. What is his son's name?
Son is Datreya.
Exactly. Datta means the son, and Atreya, the son of Atreya. Atreya, that's what it means. So basically,
didn't he have 3?
Sorry?
Okay. Didn't he have 3 sons like Datreya, Durvasa, and Chandra, right?
Say it again, Mataji.
He had 3 sons, right? Atreya?
Well, actually, it's a bit more subtle. The 3 guna avatars incarnated themselves in Dattatreya.
Okay.
Because he was not so sure who is God among the 3. And of course, from that son, actually Dattatreya, I don't know if you know him well, it's mentioned in the 4th canto, also in the 11.932, Sridhar Swami explained that Dattatreya is not different from the Avaduta Brahmana. I don't know if you know the story of the Avadut Brahman in the 11th canto in Avanti, the Avantika Brahmana. Avantika means Ujjain. And she does for me say something remarkable. He says actually he's God. He's God himself. So you can conclude that Dattatreya being non-different from the Avantika Brahmana, who is non-different from God, actually Dattatreya is God. But Prabhupada explained elsewhere, he preached impersonalisms. Sometimes you find incarnation of God preaching impersonalisms. Another example is Shankar. Shankar is Lord Shiva himself, but he has preached Mayavadis. So it happens sometimes. Kaladishapatra, it's always on the particular, for some particular reasons, according to time, place, and circumstances, sometimes the message may differ. So in which bhav is Atri? It's mentioned here in the beginning.
She's in the, I mean,
It's not she,
it's
it's a
Vatsalya.
male. It's a male. He.
Who?
Atri is a male.
Atri is a man, yeah.
Atri is a male. It's not a woman.
So he was in Vatsalya and Madhurya Bhav?
It was in Vatsalya.
Oh, okay.
So now, my other question, which reflects in the homework, in what way does the Lord surpass the greatest monist?
I didn't follow your question, Prabhu.
Actually, not the Lord, the devotee. I made a mistake here. In what way the devotee surpasses, we could say, the greatest monist? See, Prabhupada oftentimes mentioned that. What is the goal of the impersonalist?
They want to become one with God.
And
They
in
want
daily
to
affair, a great devotee, does he become one with God? He
No.
can even become superior to God. Because especially in the realm of Vatsalya Bhav, you have seen Nanda Maharaj, even Atri, they are more into taking care of God. A lower level of religion is a bit like the Judeo-Christian. My dear father, I need some stuff from you. Please make sure I'm going to pass my exam. I need a car, good career. So they consider God as order carrier. But on the other hand, those in Vatsalya Bhav, they want to reverse that trend. Let me supply to God. Let me supply God with, I'm the father. I want to, it's higher in terms of ras, it's higher. It's much higher.
So, Prabhu, in terms of becoming superior than God, only it's Vatsalya, or we can see that mood in Sakhya and also Madhurya.
See, there's within,
Sakhya in the sense that you see when they consider Krishna as their friend, but sometimes also they give order to Krishna what to do, what not to do,
yeah,
or kick him out from the game if he doesn't follow the rules.
yeah.
So
So within each ras, there's subdivisions. For instance, in Sakya, you may find different types of gop. Some gops are inferior in age to Krishna, so they are
okay.
quite recessive, submissive. They carry orders of Krishna. Others are on peer level. They
Okay.
fool around, they just gesture, they wrestle, they fool around, they they fight, they appear. And
Okay.
sometimes you find gopis like Lord Balaram and others, they are older, Dauji. So they have, it's a mixture of Sakya, but still a little tinge of Vatsalya. If you don't stop now, I'm going to tell mother. So Krishna is a bit careful with those gopis because they are older in age and they are more in the mood of chastising Krishna because they are older and they look after as a bigger brother. I remember my sister, she's young. She used to come and see me because I'm the eldest. Please, my other brother in between, younger, please help me, protect me. He's beating me up. So we are brother and sister, but I had a great deal of protection towards her because she was young and my smaller brother used to beat her sometimes. So, you know, it's not, there was a great deal of Vatsalya. I had to protect her, I had to admonish my brother and stuff like that. Okay, so now within 4, there is also the case of Ahaya. Who is Ahaya? Interesting story.
I thought Haya was the greatest devotee who did some kind of offense at the devotee's feet, and then that's how he was born as the Treya, right? Ahaya. That's the story of Haya.
That Parashuram killed Ahaya.
Yeah.
Because
he did offense.
Parashuram killed him in anger. Because remember, the vow of Parashuram is to kill all the belligerent Kshatriyas. What happened? Ahaya had committed the Vaishnava parad. So even though he had gained a very elevated status in yoga, still he was killed. Parashuram is a Shakti Vaishnava, very powerful. So there's a reminder here by Srila Prabhupada, we have to be careful of Vaishnava parad. Even though you may be advanced, still you can be touched by the wrath of even a stronger personality. So it's always there. Okay? Now, let's move on. Taptam tapu vividalok sishrik shayame ado sanat svatapasa sachatu sano but prakalpa samplava. Samplava means bold. Vinastam ihatma tatwam samyak jagadamunayo yat atshak tatmam.
To create different planetary systems, I had to undergo austerities and penance, and the Lord, thus being pleased with me, incarnated in 4 Sanas, Sanaka, Sanatkumar, Sanandan, and Sanatan. In the previous creation of his spiritual truth was devastated, but the 4 Sanas explain it so nicely that the truth at once became clearly perceived by the sages. So we know the 4 Kumaras, they appeared when Brahma underwent austerities for creation.
Yeah.
And as it's mentioned, we see that the spiritual truth which has been destroyed, which was lost at the end of the previous kalpa, that was clearly established by the 4 Kumaras.
No.
Am I?
Yeah, you're right.
So I want to know more about the spiritual truth, Prabhu.
Yeah.
That was destroyed.
So first of all, Sanatan is mentioned here in 5. Sanat and Sanatanatam, they are also names of the Lord. Not only they are names of the 4 Kumars. Vishnu Sahasranam explained they are also names of the Lord. So we learned that back in the 3rd chapter, 1st canto, that those Shatu Sun means the 4th sun, they are the personification of Brahmagyan. Even Srimati Radharani, she mentions the 4 commandments. Can you imagine? They are the eldest creatures in the universe after Lord Brahma. Right after Lord Brahma, number 2 is the 4 commands. They are the personification of Brahmagyan. They are the personification of monist. You can't find anyone higher when it comes to Brahmagyan. And still, they got enamored by the smell of the lotus, of the tulsi leaves on the lotus feet of Lord Narayan.
Yeah, but in the beginning it was mentioned they were impersonalists, right?
Exactly. Just like who else? Shukdev. Huh? Even Dattatreya was an impersonalist. Huh? So remember 1710, the Atmarama Shlok, Shri Sutovacha, Atmaramacha Muna Yo Nirgranti Apurukrame, Itambuta Guno Harihi. See, even those persons who are Atmaram, can you imagine? Atmarati, Atmatripti, they find satisfaction in the self alone. They don't contact the objects of the senses to be happy. They are totally self-satisfied. And 1710 explains, Atmarama Chamuna Nigranti Apurukrame, Itam Bhuta Guno Hari. Even they are attracted by Guno Hari, the qualities of Lord Hari. So how can they be disturbed by something material? Because they are already at Maram, they are Nirgun. You cannot distract those persons by material stuff. They're way beyond. And still they got disturbed. So it means to say that the qualities of Hari are totally transcendental. They can even allure topmost spiritualists like Shukdev, like the 4 Kumars. So this is the proof that Krishna is beyond the impersonal feature. And they got converted, remember in the story of the Jaya Vijay? San means charity, yeah? San, Sanatanam, Sanak. So we have to basically, we should not give up things, we should engage things. We don't give up. This is an impersonalist approach to giving up. We dovetail. Let's see what I've got here from Vishwanath. Yeah, they spoke spiritual knowledge which had been lost during the previous kalpa. Okay, let's move on. Dharmasya daksha duhitya janishtam mutyam narayano neleti svatapas prabhavaha drishvatmanu bhagavato niyama valopam devyastvaranga kritana gatitum nasheku. That is 6.
Yeah, I can read it, Prabhu.
Oh, I can read to it. Okay. Should I read or you? To exhibit the personal way of austerity and penance, he appeared in the twin form as Narayan and Nara in the womb of Murti, the wife of Dharma. and the daughter of Daksha. Celestial beauty is the companion of Cupid, went to try to break his vows, but they were unsuccessful, for they saw that many beauties like them were emanating from him, the personality of Godhead.
Yeah, so the whole purport, it's all about, have you read this purport? Ato Griyakshitra Sutapta Viter, Ganasya Mohamaham Mamiti. It's all about the Mitunya Garat, the shackles of sex life between men and women. Because Narayan incarnate embodies which aspect of the Lord they embody? See, each incarnation embodies a particular aspect. So what is
This one is especially to show a way of austerity and penance.
Exactly. You cannot beat those two. Who are those two, by the way? Narayan are Rishi are
Hare
incarnation
Krishna
of?
and Arjuna.
Yes, very good. And not the other way around. Huh? Don't say if you say the other way around, it's an offense. First Krishna and Arjuna, then number two, Narayan, Rishi. So now, what is the genealogy? Dharma. And Murti. His wife is Murti. She delivered those two.
Gosh.
Murti was the wife, one of the daughter of Daksh. Daksh is the term of Lord Brahma. Daksh means expert. He's an extremely powerful living entity. He's a Prajapati. He creates races. So one of his daughters was given to Dharma, and together they had Narayan Rishi. So now he's so powerful. Ananga, who is Ananga? Ananga is Cupid. Ananga means unembodied. He lost his body. Remember? One time.
He was Lord. He tried to target Lord Shiva with his calm, and Lord Shiva got angry and he destroyed his body.
Exactly. That's why it's called Ananga. Now, another time which is here, Anang, Cupid, with all his beautiful women, he tried to allure Narayan Rishi. But Narayan Rishi is so powerful, they themselves created even more beautiful girls hovering around them. So when the girls, the Gandharvas, the Apsaras, they saw the beauty of those girls, they left out of shame. So the whole purpose of 6 is, we know that Prabhupada used to say, this is the only thing which I could not solve. What is it? What is it? Prabhupada said, sometimes jokingly, I could not solve this one.
The shackles of sex life?
Yeah. Woman is the fair sex, and they are beautiful by definition. They enchant. Krishna says, Prakritim, what is it, that verse? Mohinim Shritaha. They bewilder. Mohita, we have one lady here called Mohita. Mohini Murti, Mohita. So, bewilder. So, this is the enchanting principle for the Jiva. And the male form especially embodies self-realization. It's meant for that. But because we have this Purusha Viman, this tendency to lord it over material nature, then we fall prey to this intoxication of lording it over. And that becomes very strong, especially after sex life. Ato kriyakshetra sutaptaviter janasya moha mahamamiti. From woman will come everything. Ato griyakshetra sutaptaviter, progeny, social circles, family, land, house. Prabhupada said even if two brahmacharis live in a room together, you cannot say it's griha. Griha means there must be a woman. Otherwise, it's not griha. You cannot use
Yeah,
that.
actually, Devki Mataji explains very well. Grihastashram means, how to say, a man and woman live together in this ashram, and as a soul who is in a woman body has a certain type of ego, false ego,
Yeah.
and the man. So when a woman and man they associate in a grihastha ashram, it's an ashram for heavy purification where both of them they associate and purify their ego.
Yeah.
And according to the nature of the man, he has certain ways to purify himself by being the leader of the house, bringing money and exercising his superiority, but in a healthy way.
Yeah.
And one who is in a woman body by being submissive, subordinate, and especially the feminine nature to nurture, to look after the children. So in this way, the soul in a woman body purify herself from false ego. So if an ashram woman and the man, they are not able to purify themselves, like the man is superior and controls, but he controls with love, not with
Exactly.
arrogant, with how to say, physical strength,
Exactly.
or it's out of love. So I mean, Devki Mataji really explained the nature of how a Grihastha ashram works.
Yeah. This is
It's
very much prevailing in the katha of Devavati marrying Kadmuni. Prabhupada explained that to make it smooth, running smoothly, the woman should always psychologically tune up to her husband's style, because she may not know well at first the psychological makeup of the husband. Once she has detected that, she should make sure she's not going to ruffle it against the grain. Just like if you ruffle a cat against the direction of his hair on the other side, on the other way around, the cat will definitely, you will see, it doesn't like that. You can caress the cat as towards his fur, you know, not against the fur. He's not going to like it. So Prabhupada said, this is the expertise of women. They're not going to ruffle against the psychological makeup of the husband. And then actually, apparently, from an outsider point of view, he runs the show. But because she runs him, how do you say, she has put such a beautiful, loving atmosphere in the house that actually she runs the show. But she made him believe that he runs the show. I remember my father was a very heavy guy, extremely heavy guy. Even my friends, when they would come and call me, they would stand 10 meters, 15 meters away from the house. They don't dare coming close to the door. They are afraid of my father. Even their parents are afraid. But in front of my mother, he was a little boy. I remember that. Because she was very good as a wife, I guess. She had a lot of love. She knows how to run the show. And my father was subservient. For everyone else, he was heavy. But for my mother, he was very like a boy. So she was running the show. So this is the expertise of a woman. So now in 6, see the very appearance of Narayana Rishi teaches us the principle of womanly disassociation. They are totally, of all the incarnations, they are the one who stand as brahmachari. So that is why brahmachari, they worship Lord Narayana, because they stand against women association. They have nothing against women, they are themselves God themselves. But for those who walk that path, they stand as a symbol of disassociation from women. And the example is quite apt. A sweetmeat confectioner is not going to eat the sweet themselves. Have you seen a guy who runs a sweetmeat shop eating sweet all day? No. His job is to manufacture. He has very little desire to eat them. So this incarnation of Narayana Rishi, they embody that self-satisfaction, and they remind those who want to hear that message, they remind there's no need to associate with them. Okay, so I think we'll stop here because it's only 5 minutes left. If you have any questions.
No. But so actually, I mean, all these woman body, man body, and it's created by Krishna. So whoever is in certain body has to undergo a certain way to purify the soul.
Yeah,
So
it's all about karma, man, woman.
because
If you,
Prabhupada at the end of this, at the end, when there was many discussion or conversation against women, and then some of Prabhupada's disciples who were Vaishnavis, they went to Prabhupada, and then Prabhupada said, well, if you consider yourself as woman, then what can I say? So Prabhupada also wanted the devotees who are in woman's body to rise above the
yeah, exactly.
bodily platform and see themselves
Exactly.
as soul, bound to a woman body, but rise above. Otherwise, these descriptions are completely of soul who are in woman body, but 100% live on the bodily platform. They consider their body to be themselves, and
Yeah,
you
it
see
all
how,
depends where you stand in your consciousness. You have
yeah, in the
seen
moment
Jayadev Goswami, can you imagine? I mean, he has written, what do you call it? That song in the 12th century, Govinda Gita, I think.
Git Govinda.
Gita Govinda. Can you imagine? Even Lord Jagannath used to hold to his breast. He used to press that manuscript on his chest, Lord Jagannath. So much, it is so beautiful. And he was married. Just imagine the level of his wife. They are pure devotees. Even Lord Chaitanya used to read their literature. They appeared in the 12th century. So again and again, it reminds me of the story of Bhakti Tirth Maharaj. When he joined in 71, to some time he went to see Srila Prabhupada and he complained, I think your devotees are a bit racist. He was a black-bodied devotee. What did Prabhupada say? In the same line of thought, if you identify with their claim, you are as guilty as them. Such a powerful answer. See?
Mm-hmm.
So everyone is flying his own airplane, a sparrow, a crow, an eagle, a vulture. We are mingling in the same society, but there is a vast array of difference of level, spiritual level from one to the next. So, yeah. So, by the way, I'll be going to Germany, but I can teach from there because on Sunday, I'll be in Germany next Sunday. Anyway, this week I can teach on Thursday morning, sorry. And next Sunday, I'll teach from Germany. But the following Wednesday, I'm going to stay a week in Germany. I won't be able to teach because I'll be teaching there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to teach part of the first canto, the end of the first canto, basically. Okay, so let me stop the sharing. We'll stop here. Any point, any things, Purnachandra Mataji, you want to say?
I'm good, Prabhu.
Okay, Purnachandra Mataji, are you there? I see your name. Must be night before there, so perhaps she's sleeping already.
It's okay. Okay, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.